Buckeyes, welcome on in to the Buckeye Breakdown podcast here on the Buckeyes Roundtable YouTube channel. Anthony Moeglin jumping in with you here tonight. Obviously running this one solo. So much to get into. Appreciate you joining along with me here. I guess I'm saying tonight, obviously recording last night, but releasing this in the morning. We got a full day to gather up on some Buckeyes content here as Ohio State turns their attention to UCLA coming to town on Saturday, a matchup that's super fun, a game between two brands that rarely get to play each other inside Ohio Stadium at night, 7:30 kickoff. It's going to be chilly, going to be cold. Late November, I guess mid-November game. It's going to be a ton of fun, and the Buckeyes are certainly going to be up to the task. So, like I said, appreciate y'all jumping in with me here tonight or here this morning, and excited to get into some more Buckeyes content here. We got a ton to get into here. I want to start by first taking some time here because it's just us hanging out. Let's get over to Roundtable here real quickly. I'm going to pull up the page. I'm going to add it here to the screen. Let's get us all set up here because I want to show everybody, just because this is a brand new site for us. I guess not brand new. Jumped over here to Roundtable just at the start of the year, and so much to see from here. So obviously we're on the Ohio State page. We got our premium stories running up top. You can see a lot of content in here by myself and Dylan and some of the other members of our team. And then down here, this is a fun section with our community section here, where you all can make an account. It takes like 4 seconds to make an account. You put your first name, your last name, and your email address so that we can alert you when we post stuff. But outside of that, you can get in here and you can contribute to the site. It's super simple to do, and you can get in and let us know what you think. I'm going to jump in. There's my ugly mug from Saturday, and you can get in here, write a comment, whatever you want to say. Horrible haircut. And you can comment on it, and you can you can interact and join the conversation. It's a ton of fun here, but what's really cool about it is I'm sure many of you are just Ohio State fans. But if you're more than an Ohio State fan, we got a bunch of teams on the new platform. Obviously, it's brand new. So we're all of our accounts, all of our sites are starting to move here, and they're not loading in, which is a bad look. There we go. You can start to see them in. There's some of our MLB teams. You keep rolling. There's some of your NBA teams, the Cavs, for a lot of you Ohioans. They're rolling right now to start the season. There's your NCAA teams. Here we are at Ohio State. We lead. Ohio State leads the roundtable team, the roundtable group. In terms of membership in NCAA. We've got 80 members. I want to try to get that to 100 by the time Ohio State's playing in the national championship this year. And then furthermore, you got all the NFL teams. I know the Brown site is hooping right now. Obviously, some of the others too. And we're going to get into some NFL talk, but obviously got some hockey there. So just highly encourage you all. I know you hang out with me a lot, and we beg you every time to go sign up, but it's super easy to do, and want to make sure that you're joining the community and you become a part of Buckeyes Roundtable. It's super fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It gives us the freedom to do some fun stuff, for you all, and create some content that's super unique and a ton of fun, and allows us to continue to follow this fun Buckeyes team around. And Saturday was yet another chapter in that. Ohio State's 34-10 victory over the Purdue Boilermakers. And a couple things here. Got some really good action on our videos this week. And I'm sorry for wearing a gold shirt. That was done by me. I had my nice Under Armour pullover over. Not one time did I think, oh my gosh, I'm wearing a gold beige looking shirt to Purdue, and my undershirt was black. I was basically wearing Purdue colors. So I got called out a couple times on that. That's hand up. Apology by me. Will not happen again. It will not happen again. There's a really funny comment that I'm going to pull up on Wednesday's show on the scene here, and I'm going to beg her. If she subscribes, I will wear all scarlet on Saturday. If she doesn't, I'm going to be in some electric blue for UCLA. But jokes aside, really good game by Ohio State. And after digesting it a little bit, I know my immediate reaction was like, hey, it was a mixed bag of things, right? It was a mixed bag of tricks. And it still was that, but I think that was partially not intentional. I'm sure Coach Day and the Buckeyes didn't want to be losing at the end of the first quarter to Purdue, but they were. But they were experimenting with a lot. A bunch of guys got carries for Ohio State. We were experimenting with some new receivers, not intentionally. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different players ran the ball for Ohio State, including all 4 of the top running backs. C.J. Donaldson had a carry. He actually had 2 touchdowns, right? And Bo Jackson had that opening drive, 70-yarder that got called back. Isaiah West looked really good, 9 carries for 60 yards. James Peoples came in, tried to be that change of pace guy. It does feel like out of everybody in that room that Peoples is the oddball out because Donaldson's his role is like 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, goal to go scenario. Just stick your head down and run through a brick wall. Bo really feels like at this point he's RB1, right? 14 carries, 75 yards. Took that 70-yarder away from him. Could have been a 15-carry, $140 day for him. Kind of feels like that was floating around in Buckeye running back world. We'll get into that in a little bit. But it does feel like that running back room was a big experiment on Saturday, which is fine. It's a perfect time to do it. And then on the outside of Jeremiah, you take Jeremiah away, 10 for 137 and 1. Special, man. He's just so good at football. But the rest of the group got some action. Max Clare, and we talked about this last week on our show here. Max Clare, big day, 5 for 59. They were trying to get him a touchdown. I know Julian was trying to force one to him on that interception, but is what it is. There, 5 for 59 is still a solid day in his return. And then the fun one was Bryson Rogers. Man, he looked good. Only a couple catches, but still was out there rolling around 2 for 30. And then Moeglin Graham was the other one. Moeglin Graham's like next up guy. Well, both of them. But Moeglin Graham's the one, man, where it's like, geez, he can really play some football. He's a ton of fun to watch, man. And the Ohio State wide receiver room will just take the baton on as they've done in the past. But yeah, very encouraging there. So you got to see a lot of those things from the Buckeyes on offense, like, just really experimenting and trying to do some different things. So it wasn't going to be clean, but man, Coach Day said it last week. They have the power, they have the ability when they need to put their foot on the gas pedal and go. We saw that in that second quarter. They won that quarter 24-0, largely because of the big play. The defense is going to be stout all game long, all season long, whatever. But when that offense does really get rolling, they are fun to watch. And perfect example was that second quarter against Purdue. So a really fun day for Ohio State. I think that it was pretty cool. That's such I still am I find myself like even today, I'm doing my normal 9-to-5 job and I'm thinking about, damn, I love Purdue. Like that was the perfect college environment. It's the perfect Big Ten environment. The campus was great. Even the students were buzzing. The environment was really cool in the stadium. It was largely Ohio State. I took an awesome picture from would be the south end zone where Jeremiah caught that touchdown. I was way up in that student section, basically where the dudes were doing the shirt thing. I was way up there, took a cool picture of the stadium, and it was 50% scarlet and gray, which was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see, but really awesome environment in Ross-Ade. And man, I found myself thinking back to that game where, Ohio State fell to Purdue, and that stadium, if that team's ever good, or if you get a cool environment like that, a night game where, some things don't go right for the opposing team in the first quarter, first half, like I bet that place gets absolutely jumping, and it can become a really tough place to play. They lean into the train thing like super hard. It's awesome. The way their stadium's built, they got like little touches to locomotives all across the stadium. Their band is spectacular. I was just really impressed by it. I was also impressed by how the Buckeyes came out in business. Like that was Ryan Day's like quote after the game. That was a business-like performance, and they got out of there with a win, and most importantly, got out of there healthy. When you look around college football, I said it afterwards. It's late November, or I guess it's early November now, but you're getting into mid-November, late November. I titled this show "Turning the Corner," right, and turning down the home stretch, because Ohio State's only got 3 football games left, and I don't care who you are, what you do. You get into late November, just win the football game. Just win the football game at this point. Everybody wants to be the team that knocks off Ohio State, that ends the undefeated season, that does all those things. Just win the football game and move it along, and keep that thing rolling. Buckeyes did that on Saturday, and you saw how fragile that is. Indiana, by the skin of their teeth, man. They got out of Happy Valley with the hard-fought victory. There was upsets all throughout college football on Saturday too. So it was like, hey, one of those things where Ohio State did their job and got out of town healthy, and got out of town in a big way to get back on the recruiting trail, because man alive, this week for Ohio State football has been incredible. It's flip season for the Buckeyes. This picture comes from Rivals. I'm going to break this banner down real quick just to show the watermark there at the bottom. This is Rivals. This comes from the On3 network. Holy cow. This is unbelievable for the Ohio State recruiting class. And we were all curious about, like, hey, how this was going to go. They're never going to be the biggest spender. They're going to offer some money, but they're going to rely on being the best team in the country. And you're seeing that happen. It's headlined. All these guys are 4-star. Well, 2 4-stars, 2 3-stars, but all very, very talented players. And obviously I cannot count 3 4-stars, 2 3-stars. And Jay Timmons up top, he flips from Florida State. D lineman Emmanuel Ruffin flips from Colorado. I'm sure you'll see a lot of Colorado flips. Saw some last year. Going to start to see a little bit more. We're going to get back to Legend Bay here in a second, but you got safety Kamari Bing from Maryland, and finally an offensive lineman Mason Wilhelm, a legacy guy at Ohio State. He made the flip to come to Ohio State from North Carolina. We could do a whole podcast on North Carolina. I just side note here. Saw a clip of Belichick after a game. I don't know how that's still a thing, but anyway, I digress here. Legend Bay was the headliner that happened on Monday. Officially, it started to leak on Sunday, but it was official flip on Monday. This kid, his highlights are off the charts. I don't have a clip pulled up here, but there's a video floating around on Twitter where he is like just unbelievable in terms of speed, in terms of athleticism. He actually plays quarterback for his team, for his high school team right now. But he's going to be a skill guy receiver for Ohio State when he comes to the Buckeyes. He was clocked at a 10.2 300-yard dash, which, for comparison's sake, like, that doesn't mean much. It's flying. It's about 0.2 of a second faster than Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn was clocked at 10.5 way back in the day, and Bay was clocked at 10.23. Just the rich getting richer, man. What an embarrassment of riches for Ohio State's athletes. He's going to come in as an athlete, likely going to play at the wide receiver position, maybe get some touches in the running back, come out of the backfield, whatever. But he's going to be a guy who you got to keep the football in his hands at all times. He's a special talent. And these classes just keep reloading, right? You just keep reloading. It's funny. We just talked about getting to see Moeglin Graham and Bryson Rogers on against Purdue. And they're like, yeah, it's good to see them. They're coming up next. Bay's like going to be those guys. Like, in a year, we're going to be like, oh, a blowout. Let's go see Bay, see what he brings to the table, because the Buckeyes are just showing that, hey, this thing's a machine. We'll never rebuild. It'll just be a reload, and they're going to keep these guys coming in, because a lot of them, when they leave, they go to the NFL, man, and they absolutely dominate. Sunday was one of those days. I was walking around. I was trying to do some shopping after watching the Browns, just kind of whatever. That's a song for another time. Go find me on Brown's Roundtable, because we had a very good conversation about that team. But Quinshon Judkins, even in that game, had an awesome day. He had 75 yards on the ground, didn't get in the end zone, but played really well. And even Ronnie Hickman on that side of the ball. Garrett Wilson left with an injury. Justin Fields. Like, that game was Buckeyes versus Buckeyes. Like, Justin Fields leads his team to a win. He didn't play all that good, but he does get the victory there. But those are way outside the headliners. The headliner on Sunday was Travion Henderson. This dude was out of control good for the New England Patriots, who, don't look now, man. The Patriots are they're back. Like, they feel like they're back to their incredible winning ways. And well, I just talked about the Browns and Jets having Buckeyes on the field on both sides. So did that Patriots and Buccaneers game. Trey goes for 14 carries for 147 and 2. His long was that 69-yarder at the end of the game. And my favorite part wasn't even the run. The favorite part about that carry, that play, was him breaking contain, getting outside. There was 2 minutes left, or less than 2 minutes to go in the game. And he had the wherewithal to look over to the sidelines before he crosses the plane, right? He's running. He actually turns course and like banana cuts it so he doesn't go to the end zone to see if his coaches want him to score. And then you can visually see him point to the end zone and then take it in, right? Very clearly the wherewithal to say, hey, coach, do I need to go down or do I go score? They tell him to go score. It almost bites him in the ass, actually. Had he goes down, they kneel that thing out and get the win. The Bucks turned that thing around and actually had a chance at a really good onside kick that they didn't end up recovering. Regardless, Trey had it wouldn't have been his fault because he did exactly what you want. He broke it, and instead of going and scoring right away, he checked with his coaches and ran in and scored. It was awesome. On the other side of the ball, Emeka Egbuka back healthy for the Buckeyes, six catches, 115 yards, and a score. That score came on that first drive. He was incredible. He's so much fun, like definitely leader in the clubhouse type deal to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then the big one, the guy who's going to win definitely Offensive Player of the Year, should win Offensive Player of the Year, as Jackson Smith-Njigba. Again, 5 catches, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Like if he doesn't get hurt, he's the best player. He's the best offensive player in football. Go argue with your mom because he's out of control good right now for the Buckeyes. And it was just guys making plays all over on Sunday. Denzel Burke gets his second interception in back-to-back games. Cody Simon wears the green dot for the Buckeye or for Arizona. His first opportunity to do so. Like I said, Ronnie Hickman makes the interception for the Browns. There was just so much happening. Chris Olave, 5 catches for over 100 yards and a score. Like everywhere you looked, it was Buckeyes making plays, man. And when that's happening, that's signs of good things because these teams are rolling. I had this conscious thought, like I said, I was out shopping. I had this conscious thought. It was, man, like football right now, this era of football, this last half decade, it goes through Columbus, right? Like the best players come through Columbus. The best college team goes through Columbus. These guys all are making plays on the college level. They're making plays on the NFL level. And it does really feel like at this point in time, to be a good football team, you either are the Ohio State Buckeyes, you're trying to pull guys from Ohio State, or you're drafting guys from Ohio State. And if you do that, you're making the right call. Mike Tomlin said it best last week when Jack had the interception. Columbus, man, because these guys, they come out of school NFL ready. These are professionals, and they know how to handle business and get the job done. So it's been fun watching these guys attack Sundays because when they leave Ohio State, they are ready to go from day one. So turning the attention back to these Ohio State Buckeyes. This is going to be a fun matchup on Saturday inside the Horseshoe. I'm really expecting this to be a very cool environment, right? 2 home games left for Ohio State. And it's really important now to really start to hone in on what you're doing. The Buckeyes offense is going to get a great opportunity to do just that against UCLA. The Bruins are 3-6 on the year. They had that 3-game win streak throughout the center of their season, headlined by their win against Penn State when Penn State was kind of rolling. Not really rolling at the time, but Penn State still was pretty hyped up. Their offense has turned it around and has been solid, but their defense leaves a lot to be desired. They give up over 30 points a game, 30.7 points a game, which is ranked 100th in all of college football. They're giving up 377 yards total, which isn't horrible actually. Like it's not good by any means. Don't get it twisted, but it's not the worst that you'll see. But 377, it's about dead center, 66th in the country. And they're giving up on third down. They're giving up 55% of third down conversions, which is horrible. Fourth down conversions, 52%. They're giving up 83%. The opponents are scoring 83% of the time in the red zone. They're just giving up a lot. They don't really stop much, and especially on the ground. They give up 5.1 yards per carry. That's horrible. And then they give up 192 yards on the ground. So their pass defense is actually fairly stout. However, their run defense is not very good. And that signals to me another good opportunity for Ohio State to continue to hone in that run game, right? Continue to really work on rushing the football because they need to. I don't know. Like their personality just may be that they're going to have to throw to win football games. And I've said it, and everybody in football says, like, you got to run to win in December. I don't know that that's the case in college football. Like Ohio State, if they do what they're supposed to do, they're going to play 3 straight good weather football games. Like the only bad chance at weather would be a rainstorm in Miami, but like they'll play in a dome, or they'll play in Pasadena, or, in that second round of the playoffs. And then the semifinal will be in a dome. And then the championship will be in Miami. So it's like, you're not playing in Columbus. You're not playing in Cleveland. You're not playing in Buffalo. You're not playing in Green Bay to make a run through the playoffs. You're going to be playing in climate-controlled environments, and Jeremiah Smith's going to have, he's going to be warm. His hands are going to be warm. Julian Sain's not going to have to deal with wind, like all that stuff. So that if they can't run the football, maybe that's okay. However, I would feel a little bit more comfortable if they did have the opportunity to run the ball, because it hasn't happened yet, and I don't have any reason to believe that it will happen. But if Julian Sain has a bad day, what if he's wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, or stubs his toe going getting out of the hotel in the morning or whatever, and he has an off day, what does Ohio State do? He has not had an off day yet. I'm not saying he has, but just like, hey, the concern, the coach in me is like, all right, what if that one thing happens? What happens as a response to that? So would like to see them get a little bit more consistent running the football. And again, last week would have been an unbelievable day if they don't get that first call called back, that first 70-yarder called back. However, they did. And there was times where they were struggling to run the football against Purdue. They obviously had a couple chunk plays. I think Bo's long run was 16 yards, and Isaiah West's long run was 14. So, that's solid. They averaged just over 4 yards a carry, which, again, solid. Not great, but okay. And you want to see them continue to improve that, because they do. I said it post game. I said that, like, hey, I'm starting to get worried about it, and it's now like a major concern. And Brennan had a good point. He's like, not really, because you go UCLA and Rutgers, you still have 2 chances to prove what you got. And a lot of it is not on the running backs. A lot of it's up front. Obviously, there's still a situation going at right guard. You don't love that in Week 12, going into Week 12 of the season. That's something you'd want to have figured out already. However, they don't have it figured out quite yet. So what do? They just got to keep plugging along and figure out ways to be successful with the guys you got, because you got to dance with who you brung. And at this point, this is what the Buckeyes are on offense, and they're going to try to they're going to try to get it done. And they got a good chance to improve that against UCLA. I'm excited to see that environment on Saturday night. There's really nothing, I say it a lot. I may be the only person who likes the noon kickoffs, because I can get home at a decent time. However, there is nothing in the world like 7:30 under the lights football games, especially now in Ohio. Sunsets at like 2 p.m. So getting those primetime games is so much fun. And Ohio State's gonna have one of those ones on Saturday night, which will be super cool. So my keys to the game for the offense. We always do this on Mondays. My keys to the game, I feel like it's watch, rinse, repeat for me at this point. Establish the run, try to figure it out on the offense side. Well, I just spent 10 minutes talking about it. So that's going to be me. That's what I got my eye on. Because, man, the pass game is so elite. Like I just, talked about, how the Buckeyes are going to be able to run the ball, because they're going to be able to pass it, right? It's fun watching Jeremiah Smith just carve up defenses. It's fun. Julian Sain's been in the zone now for 12 straight weeks. Outside of the Texas game, which he struggled. He had like 80% completions for 120 yards and a touchdown. Like, he's been great. He's really feeling it, seeing the field perfectly, delivering the ball perfectly. So much fun to watch. So no concerns there. I just want to continue to see the Ohio State offense look to establish the run. So if you made it this far with me, thank you. Get to do a solo show, which is always fun. Also, apology if you watched on Saturday morning. For whatever reason, I was like in the camera's face. I was like that pregame. Don't know what that was about, but one of those things that I watched back today, and I was like taking some notes, and I was like, what the hell were you doing, dude? That was weird. But a really fun trip, and so thanks to you guys. So appreciate you all jumping in, watching along, subscribing to the channel. If you got in late here, go to the start of the video. I did a little tutorial of Buckeyes Roundtable. It's an awesome site. Get over there. Let us know what you think about us. Let us know what you think about our content. Let us know what you think about our Buckeyes, most importantly, because we got a lot of good stuff going on. Josh Pate had the tweet of the week. This week marks the halfway point of the season. From week 1 to the national championship, we are at the halfway point. I titled this one "Turning the Corner Down the Home Stretch" because it does feel like that's the case for Ohio State in this season. In the regular season, they got 3 to go. Take care of business against UCLA. Take care of business against Rutgers. Take care of business against the team up north. And you're going to be sitting pretty heading into what's going to be a very fun matchup in the Big Ten championship game, which will ultimately determine a lot of the playoff picture. But a lot of that is still to come. But for now, Ohio State's attention is solely on the UCLA Bruins, and we'll keep our attention solely on the UCLA Bruins. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. We'll be back Wednesday with our typical defense show, and then we'll be back Friday. I think we found something. We'll be back early on Saturday morning. I'll drop something Saturday morning for you all to hit before game day, so that it's all Buckeye content there. And Saturday is going to be fun. A 7:30 kick allows us to do a ton of content throughout the day, so we're going to get creative with some stuff. So make sure you're tapped in and following along with all things Buckeyes here on the Buckeyes Roundtable YouTube channel, the Buckeyes Roundtable page.